Return of the Mount Hua Sect, Chapter 257. What opened? Let go! Where is it? Let go of me, you brat! I'm dying here! Chongmyung let go of the hand that held Hong Dae-gwang by the neck. Soon after, Hong Dae-gwang sat down and coughed over and over again as if he had almost died. You bastard! Don't you have any sympathy or respect? I have been eating rice 10 years more than you, so show me some respect. Let's not go over the concept of age. Chongmyung clicked his tongue as he saw Hong Dae-gwang wheezing and screaming, not being able to hold back his anger. To be treated like a kid by this brat. It is such a sad reality. If it had been Chongmyung's original life, he was old enough to be their great-grandfather. But there was no use mentioning that now. Anyway, so where are those bastards? Those bastards didn't just leave out our manhwa, did they? This is still hot news. I just got it. It will take a few more days for us to know the full thing. Huh? Let's see if they miss manhwa. I'll write the word bold on the Shaolin Sect leader's head if that happens. Is there anyone who does not know about the growth of manhwa right now? Especially here. Hong Dae-gwang, who was speaking, suddenly said something and went silent, making Chongmyung ask in response. What is it? I was thinking. Huh? Hong Dae-gwang's expression looked more serious than before. That the Shaolin Sect doesn't really care about the outside world. And aren't they in the East? Right, so? Well, then wouldn't it be possible for them to not know of manhwa's growth? What nonsense is that? No, so Shaolin might think that the manhwa is a sect still in ruins and might not send the letter. The more he continued, the stiffer his expression became. As Chongmyung's face turned red, Hong Dae-gwang bit his lip. Unsurprisingly, Chongmyung began to spew fire from his mouth. Those bastards! How dare they ignore manhwa? Calm down. Calm down. Manhwa's divine dragon. No, since when have those bastards acted so high and mighty? Manhwa's divine dragon. The Shaolin Sect is naturally a good place. Please think. You're talking nonsense. So what? Chongmyung rolled his eyes. I am thinking. It doesn't really seem like a thinking face, though. It seems you have already thought of an answer. What are you thinking? It doesn't matter. Should we go to the Shaolin Sect and play a game of mess? Or should we go to another sect that received the letter and respectfully take it over? Neither one seemed like a good idea. Is this the kind of thinking a Taoist does? It is said Taoists face situations where they had to find a new god every day. But Hong Dae-gwang could confirm that there was no new development in Chongmyung at each of their meetings. The Shaolin Sect is too far. Right, the Jungnam Sect. I like those brats. It would be good if we politely speak to them and take their letter. Then why are you clenching your fists so tight? By this time, Hong Dae-gwang's worries were growing. Is this really a good thing to bring back manhwa into the 9 great sects? This bastard will be the epicenter of all of it. Wouldn't it be better to live in a world ruled by the demonic sect than manhwa, who has this bastard leading them? At that time, Chongmyung shook his head, making Hong Dae-gwang flinch. Did the letter arrive in the Jungnam sect? Calm down, manhwa's divine dragon. The world doesn't change this fast. No, now. Isn't the Shaolin Murin competition being held by the Shaolin sect? It would take at least 3 months to prepare, and even if it doesn't arrive now, we should wait at least a week. He frowned as if he didn't like it. In the end, with a heart that spoke for Chongmyung, Hong Dae-gwang said, And if the letter doesn't come to manhwa, I will speak to my sect elders and make sure to get one. However, this made Chongmyung look at him suspiciously. Mr. Will? You, what are you thinking? A beggar? Ah, that is right. This beggar is. I am a branch head. I have the right to make suggestions. But I cannot believe it. Hong Dae-gwang's eyes were filled with tears. Why? Just why did I come to Huam? If he had stayed in Luoyang, he wouldn't have had to go through this sad situation. He was being treated like some food-coveting beggar, all because he wanted to enjoy some glory. This bastard. Anyway, just wait for a couple more days. The letter will arrive. I get it. Chongmyung nodded his head. Is everything done then? Hong Dae-kwang sighed. It is said that being next to him was advantageous, but this one seemed like he would abandon him right after his use was over. First of all, he had to get away from here. Ah, right. Huh? Chongmyung looked at Hong Dae-kwang as if he had remembered something. Come to think of it, what happened to the beggar I told you to catch? Did you catch him? Hong Dae-kwang's eyes trembled. Wow, he didn't forget it. Isn't this similar to pathological obsession? Well, we caught him, but you were away for too long, so I had to send him back. What? Who told you to send him back? Is that even important right now? And he's probably going to come to the Shaolin sect, so take care of your matter first. That fucking beggar is so lucky. Chongmyung was angry. Looking into his eyes, Hong Dae-kwang began to worry. Nothing is going to happen to the Shaolin or Jongnam sects, right? The Jongnam sect in particular made him more anxious. Those poor bastards would be taken down by this. And fortunately for the Jongnam sect, a person visited Mount Hua as 3 days passed. You say you are from the Shaolin sect? Yes, sect leader. I am Hebang of the Shaolin sect. Welcome to our Mount Hua. After a light greeting, Hyunjong looked at the guest. Hyunjong studied his shaved head and calm expression. He observed the red tunic on his body. Everything together created a very profound atmosphere. As expected of the Shaolin sect. How many people were in the Shaolin sect for them to make such dignified people run their errands? But it was expected of them. It was a place worthy of being called the northern tip of the Gangho. Right. What did a Shaolin sect disciple come to Mount Hua for? As the question fell, Hebang pulled out a letter from his sleeve. This is a letter our sect leader has asked to deliver to Mount Hua sect leader. A letter. Hyunjong, who received it, opened it right away and looked inside. Worldly Mudim Competition. Such an odd name. But if this was something that came from the Shaolin sect, the content wouldn't be something irrelevant. Hyunjong frowned and opened the folded letter, and then he read it. The letter was written in a respectful manner, but it was likely that the same thing was being delivered to other places. But the Wudang and Jongnam sects must have gotten letters in a different format. With this letter alone, he could tell how much Mount Hua was being thought about and considered in Shaolin. Although he thought Mount Hua should be delighted with just getting the letter, he couldn't erase the bitterness within himself. What is this Mudim competition? I heard that it was to create a place for the sect leaders of each sect to gather. At the same time, a conference is being conducted for everyone in Mudim to cultivate some friendship. So the sect leaders are participating. Could we do something like that? We plan to limit the participation to the disciples. I see. Hyunjong had a subtle smile and looked at Hebang. Such a good event. But is our Mount Hua that was pushed out of the 9 great sects still fit to participate here? Amitabha Buddha, how can you say that? This Mudim competition isn't to be attended by just the 9 great sects, but also by the 5 great families and the other major sects. Please do not worry. As soon as he finished, a snort could be heard from behind them. Hearing that, Hebang turned his head and saw a person sitting behind him with stern eyes and his back leaning against the wall. He seems quite young, but it was a hostile gaze. It was undeniable that Mount Hua was pushed out of the 9 great sects and that the Shaolin sect was responsible for it. The problem was that this place was none other than the residence of Mount Hua's sect leader. And it felt strange that this young disciple was present here when a guest from Shaolin was coming. Moreover, with such an unbearable attitude as well. What was even more strange was that none of the adults in Mount Hua were trying to stop him. Even the sect leader stayed silent. What a waste of such a prestigious name. Haebang frowned and Hyunjung spoke. Right, so you said this was a competition. Yes. What would the format be? All the disciples of all the sects couldn't possibly participate. It would be nice if we could do that, but it isn't an easy task, so we had to make changes. Changes? You see the color of the letter. Hyunjung looked down. It looks silver. There are 4 colors of letters. The first is platinum. In total, about 50 sects receive this, and they can bring in around 20 of their disciples who can participate. Hyunjung frowned. And the gold letter recipients get to have 40 members, out of which 15 would be participating. Then, the silver letters have around 30 members, where 10 can participate. Finally, the bronze letter recipients are allowed to bring 12 members, of which 5 are eligible to participate. No! Is this bastard fucking with me? Chongmyung! Oh my! Brat! Hold it! Hold it in! Witnessing Chongmyung losing it, the undisciples who had been preparing for this unforeseen situation immediately covered him and pressed him down. But despite that, he growled like a dog and roared. Silver? Silver? It's a silver letter, not even gold. No, these bastards are looking down on Mount Hua. Watching the momentum of this child, Haebang flinched without realizing it. No, wait. Did they just say Chongmyung? Mount Hua's divine dragon. How could such a person? This idiot who does not know when and where to act out. Such a person is being called the best in the world. The rumors in Gangho cannot be trusted. No, monk! Haebang coughed in vain, trying not to think about what he had just been called. Did you call me? What did the Jongnam sect get? Yes? The Jongnam sect! What kind of letter did they get? Platinum. No! Look at these brats! As Chongmyung was wriggling under them, Eungam and Eunam pressed him down. Whoa! Calm down! Calm down! Sweet! Someone get sweets! Chongmyung was groaning from under them. You! Monk! Haebang was the only monk here, but he didn't say it, so he nodded. You heard that the Jongnam sect was taken down by Mount Hua, right? Surely. I heard the news of the Jongnam Mount Hua conference. The Jongnam Mount Hua conference? Ah, no. It's called the Mount Hua Jongnam Conference. And? What are you talking about? Chongmyung clicked his tongue. It was clearly proven that Mount Hua was superior to the Jongnam sect, but they still got a platinum letter allowing them to send out 20 people to participate. And we get a letter that just allows 10 people? Haebang went silent as he heard that. The boy was right. Although his attitude was a little unexpected, what Chongmyung had said was right. You don't even think before you give out such letters. Think a little. Your head. Hyunjung pushed the rice cake into Chongmyung's mouth. Chongmyung's eyes softened slightly as he felt something soft in his mouth. Then he chewed on it for a while. Right, have tea. Hyunjung put some tea in front of Chongmyung and glanced at Hyunjung. Hyunjung, who saw it, nodded and opened his mouth to speak. It might have sounded rough, but what the child said isn't wrong. If this is a Murim competition, then it is a meeting place. Mount Hua deserves the same treatment as the Jongnam sect. Am I wrong? Amitabha Buddha. That is... Hyunjung smiled. The Shaolin sect isn't known for being a fair place, but we hope that you consider our face. At that moment, Chongmyung finally gulped down the last of the rice cake and resumed shouting. If we go and beat up the Jongnam sect till their eyes turn black, think about that platinum letter you gave them then. Now, have one more. Hyunjung pushed another rice cake into Chongmyung's mouth. Watching all this, Haebang, who was struggling, simply nodded. What the sect leader said isn't wrong. Thank you for understanding. But the number of platinum letters is limited, The only thing I can get for you is a gold letter, so I hope that the sect leader will also understand the circumstances of myself and the Shaolin sect. Saying this, Haebang took out a golden letter and handed it to Hyunjong. Hyunjong looked at the gold letter and nodded, accepting it. Thank you. Amitabha Buddha, say nothing. Haebang, who said that, continued. The competition will be held half a year from now. Why hold it that far away? It takes time to get all the sects to attend it. Besides, the Shaolin sect also needs time to prepare for it. Well, it isn't a small number. Amitabha Buddha, then I will leave. Haebang was getting up when Hyunjong looked startled. Already? I have a lot to do. Please forgive my rudeness. Yes, sect leader. See him out. Yes. When Hyunsang said that, Haebang bowed and went out. As the two went outside, all the others who stayed within the sect leader's residence looked at the letter. Worldly Murim competition. Hyunjong's eyes turned to Chongmyong. What do you think? Chongmyong. It doesn't matter if it's the Jongnam sect or something else. At that moment, Hyunjong noticed it. Chongmyong's eyes were on fire. These down-to-earth bastards! How dare they ignore Mount Hua? Let's see if their bald heads don't break. Hyunjong smiled kindly and watched Chongmyong spew fire from his eyes and mouth. Can I take him? It was worrying. Really worrying. To Mount Hua's sect leader. In Gangho, fights do not cease, and the years of others are full of jealousy. So, the world is in chaos. After much thought and deliberation, the Shaolin sect has concluded that the mistake was on our side due to the lack of the prior meetings of sects. In the past, before the demonic sect rebellion, there was a Murim competition in which a large number of powerful sects participated. This was done to develop a friendship through competition. The Murim alliance is weak because of that, and the Shaolin sect wanted to hold a Murim competition in place of that, despite the fact that we are lacking. So, please do not hesitate to ask for the Shaolin sect's request in anything, and we hope that you and your disciples will come to participate in the event and make it brighter. We will be waiting for you in Mount Song.